recent is the word that my spell check doesn't recognize it. That increasingly authoritative fount of all knowledge, Wikipedia, defines sustainability as a characteristic of a process or state that can be maintained at a certain level indefinitely. Hardly a moral definition, this, or indeed, in light of the second law of thermodynamics, a feasible one. Many environmentalists opt for a more practical meaning, living in such a way as not to detract from the potential quality of life of future generations. And here we find a definition in harmony with the commonly voiced aspiration to try to leave the world a better place than we found it. This essay is in part an inquiry into the causes of our common failure to realize this heartfelt desire, even though it is one held by almost every individual on Earth. If we accept the environmentalist's definition, living sustainably does not involve any particular morality beyond extending the eighth commandment, "Thou shalt not steal," to future generations. A society that limited itself to such a narrow aspiration, however, could be a barbarous place. As in the movie Soylent Green, why waste a corpse? Why worry about the distribution of wealth? Any meaningful inquiry into sustainability must surely be broader than this, and thus be as much a philosophical and moral discussion as a scientific one. For sustainability pertains to us, our innate needs and desires, as much as it does to the workings and capacities of our planet. A real search for sustainability involves a broad vision. Indeed, it encompasses many flashpoint issues. Is there space for meat-eating in a sustainable world, for example? And what of animal rights, and human rights, and religion, and democracy, and the free market, and war? While a detailed look at how these issues can be squared with a fully sustainable future is beyond the scope of this essay, such questions will continually arise as we examine clear, practical solutions to our most urgent problems. Where does science fit into this inquiry? In human affairs, there is often a great difference between aspiration and achievement. Even a society possessed of a moral and philosophical framework ideally suited to attaining a sustainable future may fail to do so if it lacks knowledge of how the world works and of how its practices and technology are affecting Earth's life support systems. Accurate scientific knowledge of Earth and its processes is vital to the pursuit of sustainability. And so I propose commencing this investigation with two questions, which, even if they cannot be definitively answered, can nevertheless guide us in our search. What is our purpose as a species, and how does Earth work? The wellsprings from which we derive meaning in our lives are intensely personal. My own search for meaning has led me to the belief that this generation, those of us living at the dawn of the 21st century, is destined to achieve an extraordinary transformation, one unique in the 4-billion-year history of Earth, and one that will influence the fate of life from now on. Geologists talk of the dawning of a new geological period called the Anthropocene, which is characterized by pervasive human influence on Earth processes. But perhaps the Anthropocene age will truly have dawned only when humanity uses its intelligence to help regulate those processes for the good of life as a whole. It is the great complexity and order created by evolution through natural selection that has led to the existence of Gaia, Earth conceived of as a self-regulating, evolving system. James Lovelock, the originator of the Gaia hypothesis, illustrated the concept by showing how Earth as a whole maintains the temperature of the planet's surface within bounds that are conducive to life, and recycles nutrients and regulates the chemistry of the atmosphere and oceans to the same end. In short, living things absorb carbon and heavy metals from the atmosphere and oceans, while at the same time producing oxygen. Life is such a powerful force on Earth that this activity keeps the atmosphere and oceans out of chemical balance with Earth's rocks in such a way that keeps Earth habitable. The Gaia hypothesis is a way of describing how our living planet as a whole works. We have long understood, from biblical teaching and practical experience, that we are naught but earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.